Okay, the screen is visible to you people, the PPTs which I'm sharing to you.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, today we people are going to begin with your module 3, okay, of public relations subject. Fine, this will be your part 1 of module 3, right? So anyway, we people have completed module 1 and module 2, which were one which was on completely a basics of that subject, and then we have certain theories and models which we people have discussed into your module 2, okay, in detail. So now we have the third module with us today that we people have to begin, okay, which is completely tells you about how much a communication is important in the organization, especially an employee's communication is important in the organization, and how much this plays an vital role into helping a PR and its related activities, okay, and programs. So here we go one by one. Here we have employee communications, which we people have to today deal with. And before we go with this employee communication, let us know something about what is a basic, or say, a basic definition or understanding of a communication is. Okay. So here we have communication is often is going to be defined as we share information in the communication, we share the feelings and also even the ideas. So basically communication is meant for what one the information which has to be shared with the others. So some sender will be sharing information with the receiver, okay, for certain reason. Maybe feelings what those people are going to share along with the information, even ideas are also going to be shared among the both. Okay, a sender will be sending an information or sharing an information on ideas also. So here this is what all about communication in a simpler way if we want to understand. But remember, when it comes to a business word, this communication plays a very vital role, as I told you people, where exchange of information is very much essential for any company success. They say this is how sharing of an information with the stakeholders can give them a confidence, okay, among the shareholders, and also the belief what those people can generate on the organization. Okay, so information if is shared, more amount of the same information is being discussed among those stakeholders regarding the company, and the company is also sharing the same thing to them, giving a platform to discuss on that. And because of this, we people can easily identify that company success can be dependent on this also. Okay, and there are many different avenues available to communicate with your employees and customers. It says something like an opportunity, or there is a wider scope that any organization will be having while it is going to communicate with their employees and also the customers. So ultimately, a company's role that has to be defined, and also it should be shown to the stakeholders like employees and customers what exactly and where this organization stands and how it is going to help these two people. Fine. So it gives a wider scope and reason for having a relationship with the employees and customers. So communication helps them to realize it. Fine. So you take any effective employees communication, which can be helping the boosting the morale of the employees, and also can expect that there will be an improvement, upscale into the productivity of the organization. So here, even we usually have something in this where we people will be discussing on, where this em- communication plays a very very important role in developing a moral. So somewhere, if the moral is developed among the employees, the productivity also can be raised because of the transparency that organization has with their own employees. Okay, and this transparency comes on the basis of what they communicate and how they communicate with the employees regarding the issues and information. Okay, so we say effective employee communication can also help in boosting the morale of them and also improving the productivity of the employees. Okay, so also we can expect that we it is also been said that the employees who are able to understand their role, okay, what they are going to have in the organization, okay, and understand how their work will be contributing to the success of the overall success of the organization. So it is something said that if you make your employees understand their roles properly, what those people have to play into the organization, and this will be something like an expectation that organization is having towards the employees, and that expectation has to be properly communicated to them. It says that the information on that expectation should be clearly transferred to the employees. Let them know better their roles, what they have to play, and what roles is being defined by organization. It has to be understood by employees also. So to make it, this communication plays a very important role. And if the employee, if they play their role properly after understanding, okay, it makes a sense for them in contributing to the organizational success. And also we can expect that the people, sorry, the employees who are very much well aware about the role what they are playing in the organization, that always makes them to get more satisfied, okay, being into the organization. So it says that more satisfied than the employees who are not being communicated properly what their roles has to be played in the organization. So it is proved, or somewhere it's a research which is being done previously, and many authors have also said that, okay, where if communication has been properly used in defining the roles, and making them aware about the roles which an employee has to play, those people are very much satisfied compared to the employees who are in confusion that what type of roles those people have to play into the organization. So it says employees who do not feel a connection between what they do and what the organization does it. So what an organization is expecting and what they are doing it, if they are not clear and if they are not matching with each other, so probably that can lead to the dissatisfaction among the employees. Okay. Any doubts you people have? Clear? May I know any doubts you people have?
No, sir.
Or shall I continue?
Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay. So we have next something role of employee communication. What type of role any employee has to play with when it comes to the communication. Fine. So it also says that the quality communication occurs, that will be always preventing from getting misunderstood. Okay, or the misunderstanding which happens into the organization or between the people of the organization. The miscommunication can also happen. You intend to tell something and something else you have told, so somewhere the meaning which you people want others to understand the same way may not be understood by them. Okay, even because of this misunderstanding, miscommunication, no doubt at all, there will be a conflict which is going to be raised between the both the parties. So it says the quality of communication you can define on the basis of it is preventing the misunderstanding, okay, between the people, right, or say miscommunication, stopping of the miscommunication also, the conflicts can be been away from the people, so there will not be so much of conflict between the parties. So it reduces productivity, work, and performance, which ultimately impacts the company's bottom line, or basic for what purpose the company has been you know uh, started or running, it's operating. So that gets disturbed because of misunderstanding or miscommunication or conflicts which arises because of not proper utilization of the communication in the organization by the employees. So it says ultimately that will be reducing the productive work, no doubt, and the productivity also comes down. Right? Okay, we have something like certain concepts that we people are going to discuss today, like organizational culture. Also we can call this as a corporate culture also. And you cannot say that all the organizations may be similar type of organizations who are in a specific type of industry will be having same type of culture. So it is always said that the organization once it comes, okay, from the beginning of inception of that organization, they will be having their own culture which will be planned, developed, and also nurtured. Okay, and that remains forever with the organization, and they're very unique compared to any other organization. Okay, And even we can expect that at a good culture, organizational culture, probably not probably, almost all the stakeholders who are directly or indirectly involved into the organization activities and who have interest into the organization, those people always will be very satisfied, very happy, okay, and they feel very comfortable in being a part of the organization, and also sometimes dealing with the organizations. Fine, it all depends whether to be a part of the organization or whether dealing with the organization. Now it all depends on the type of a stakeholder he or she is. Okay, so we have something here, an understanding of organizational culture, which includes an organization expectations, okay, the experiences of the organization, the philosophy what organization has hold, and also the values that is helping them to hold it together. So somewhere A to Z, these all organization expectations, experience, philosophies, and values, which will be molded together for the purpose of expressing the self image of the organization, showing that how organization is totally unique and different from the others. Okay, so to exhibit their own self image or create a good image for the organization, they always use these concepts. Okay, altogether they do it in fact. Okay, and inner workings, say self for self image one side, and to have proper inner working, then interaction with the outside world also. That means satisfying the internal stakeholders and also external stakeholders, and also some future expectations where exactly the organization wants to be. Okay, for within that time period or time specific what those people have given, where everybody will be happy enough in being with the organization in reaching the goal. So this is all about organizational culture. As I told you, people, this includes what a culture includes the expectations of the organizations, the experiences the organization is having, the philosophies what those people are following, as well as the value what those people are holding together, and also and they will be expressing their own self-image in the industry, how different they are, and they will be having also and control over the internal working environment and also external working environment. The happy thing, a satisfied thing which those people find among the internal stakeholders and the external stakeholders, as well as the future expectations. So we have something like it is also called as corporate culture. It is shown in the form like this. One, you have to keep in the mind one the ways the organization conducts its business, treats its employees, customers, and the wider community. Now, this is a role what organization plays. Especially a type of role which is being played by the organization, and it exhibits a type of culture, and people are very much, keen observant in understanding the type of culture organization is having. In such type of situations, organization take all these steps in making it understood by the stakeholders. Here we have the ways of organization conducts its business, the way the business is conducted. Now, how much an organization is free from the corrupt practices, nepotism, where they are not they don't give corruption to the others. They are very much ethical in the process, in the approach when they do their business. Sometimes that can also make people to differentiate the organization. The way those people treat their employees, whether the employees are treated as human beings or machines. Now, see, there are certain organizations which see, human resource, employees as a human resource, not as a machines. And there are certain companies who pay a lot to them, but those people are going to say like something we pay and we get. So there's nothing something called like human, a touch nature which is given in handling those employees, and also how they treat the customers. Okay, how those people are going to handle the customers, the way the customers are being utilized by the organization in development. Okay, and also how much organization is going to add to the development of the lives of the customer, and also the wider community where they do their CSR activities like corporate social responsibilities, which organization is also having towards the society, right? And how much those people are contributing to the society for the well-being of the society. So even on that basis also, you people can easily identify the type of culture the organization is holding, okay, into the industry. Then second, we have the extent to which freedom is allowed in decision making, developing new ideas, and personal expression. Here, the culture, you can take an example of 3M, where they are very much high in developing a new ideas, where they give complete freedom to their employees in bringing lot many ideas, innovative ideas into the existing products or bringing a new products into their basket. Fine. So even we say like how decision making is done, how much confidence that any organization is having on its employees. Okay, who will be sitting on the top, and they say you have all the freedom, you can take a decision. This sometimes what happens, the freedom which is being given to the employees from the side of organization in taking decisions can also create a confidence among the employees in return, where they feel very happy, satisfied, okay, on doing the job. And then we have something like developing new ideas. Okay, that's and also we have some personal expressions that how that any employees is given complete freedom in expressing himself or organization itself is expressing their culture to the stakeholders like customers or any other community people. Then second we have like how power and information flows through its hierarchy. And here this is a culture sometimes when if I want to link this with the decision making, if the fastest decision making you see, they all are almost decentralized type of authority which is being flowed into the organization, where the different branches and the heads of the departments are given freedom in taking a decision, and the time which takes to take a decision on any item, any say issues or any opportunities, that will be immediately done. But when it comes to centralization, that everything or every decision which has to come from the top management. Now for that, sometimes where there is a good opportunity and employees find at the functional level, and they have to wait till they get a consent from the top management. Once the top management takes a decision, and then only these people can move further. So sometimes, being a very, proactive people in the functional department, okay, and those people have an idea that how best they can bring good business to the organization. If that is hindered by a time which has been taken for taking a decision, okay, from the top management, can bring down the morale among the uh, employees, okay, or sometimes that can also bring the satisfaction level among the employees. Right. So how power and information flows through its hierarchy, one power. Second, also information. This is something a clear picture which any individual employee will get. How a communication is flowed, and how authority is also flowing in the organization, and where he has to reach, or what role he has to play in that. So that will be very much clear for the employees, okay, for the reaching their next higher ups. And we have how committed employees are towards the collective objectives. Even sometimes what happens is highly satisfied customers, or say these organizations have so much of confidence, or they develop a confidence among the employees, okay, and employees become more committed towards the organization by their loyalty what those people show, okay. And this can be easily identified by how these employees becomes more committed towards the collective objectives. In the last class also, I think previous class we have discussed on Henry Ford principles, where subordination of individual interest, one principle among them, where they employees, they come with certain objective of them. Somebody comes for the salary, somebody comes for security, somebody comes from for the say sake of increasing, say developing their career, okay, finding a new opportunities. But in spite of having all personal goals, those people have to work for organizational objectives ultimately. So even having a good culture into the organization can make any employees to get committed to the objectives which has been set for the organization. And the employees who are working into the organization, they will be also, no doubt, they will have an interest in achieving their personal objectives, but also more important, they find organizational objectives as their objective. Okay, so they always find that satisfying the organization by achieving its objectives along with the their own personal objectives. Fine. Okay. Any doubts that you people have till here? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Fine. Then we have next, establishing communication policy. Um, okay. How any communication policy should be there in the organization. Fine. Very simple it is, and we say almost we can find generally in all the organization when organization is been establishing their communication policy, that how communication has to flow, and who are the stakeholders who will be having responsibility of taking it to the next level. Okay, so we have something here. Avoid sorry comprehensiveness. We say that how best to make your employees to understand it properly. So how best do people make it so simple, okay, where it is very clear and manageable by the organization in making their employees understand about it. One, okay, and it says that how best you people are going to avoid and confusion which is going to be created among the employees when you people develop a communication policy, okay, and you people communicate the same thing to the employees. So you should be very careful enough that the communication policy which has been developed and is going to be communicated to the employees, that shouldn't lead into the confusion among them. So it should be very much easy to understandable by employees, and they shouldn't create any confusion. So try to avoid it. So we have next a policy should be applying to any form of electronic communication by the employee having connected with the workplace. Even you cannot restrict. Sometimes you have next undue restriction. Okay, so you cannot restrict employees on communicating with others on certain electronic we say connections or say devices what those people are going to use in dealing with such things and communicating with the others. So next we have second, like avoiding undue restrictions. Now see, you develop a policy, okay, and you don't want employees to discuss on that. So if you are stopping a discussion on that particular policy which has been done, I think you people are finding a blanket or that prohibition of a personal electronic communication by any employees. Okay, where because of this we say it as very unrealistic one. We say that communication by any employees over the electronic medium, it is very simplest way. Okay, it's very simplest policy it looks, but usually prohibiting such things are very unrealistic to the organization, and the employees have complete freedom in discussing about the policies which has been constructed in the organization, developed in the organization, and they want to get implemented. So ultimately, these policies has to be implemented by uh, the organization itself, no doubt. But and it will be followed by the employees. So they have all the rights in discussing on the policies which has been developed by the organization. So once you people develop a certain communication, and for that policy has to be like those people can easily communicate over the any sort of channel. Okay. So we have next consider risk posed by the employees. Here we say usually the information what you people collect from the employees, especially from lower level, say we say, or a bottom level employees, where they will be having usually very less critical information. We say very less important information those people will be having. Okay, and the communications are very far less likely to result in some legal or non-legal liabilities for the organization. So any sort of communication which has been done by say a lower level employees, or say or operational level employees, we say bottom level employees, and that will not be so much important in thinking much on that. So they won't lead into any legal this because they don't have any authority or authorized people who will be communicating about the policies to the outside world, and that leads to some legal complications. No. So it says that it is something like very responsible person can only communicate, okay, on the policies of communication, okay, and then only that can be authenticated. So next we have something like corporate general policies, The most companies have a variety of general policies regarding employee conduct. Now it says how employees has to behave in the organization, okay, and has to be communicated properly. So uh, different organization will be having different type of general policies on the basis of on the base where how employees has to behave in the organization, how those people have to work in the organization, regarding their communications, regarding the attitude, regarding their behaviors. So those all things will be coming under these general policies. Okay, that will be usually told into the orientation time when initially an employee is joining the organization, right? Or somewhere in between, if the organization finds that there is some problem is occurring into the organization because of the communication, it takes little step further in between also. There some alteration into the policies can be done regarding the communication, just to hold that misleading or say miscommunication or misunderstanding and conflict in the organization due to the communication of the employees. And we have the fifth one here, like clarity, where many companies assume that employees know what is and is not an appropriate communication. We say you should have a clarity that whether employees know it better or not. So it's a duty of the organization in identifying that what level of understanding that employees are having towards a communication policy. Okay, so you should be clear enough. You should communicate clearly on the communication policies what these employees has to follow in the organization. Okay, so that doesn't mean that you say that on the basis of intuition of an organization towards the understanding of the employees you want to work here. So it should be very clearly told to the employees regarding their communication procedure, right? And we have next sixth one, like transparency. Now the policy should make clear what monitoring by the company will occur. So it says that transparency in simple words, whatever policy has been framed, it has to be clearly told to the employees. Okay, pin to pin we say from starting to end, it has to be clearly explained to the employees regarding them. So if there is a transparency, that doesn't mean, you have to monitor them again and again, whether the policies has been implemented by the, I mean, or followed, okay, so not for implemented. After implementation, whether they are, followed by the employees or not, can be easily assessed. So this says something like, that transparency is very much, if it is very much transparent, it will be employees. Okay, so there will not be much deviation or confusion among the employees regarding the communication policies. Okay, which has been established by the organization for them. Okay, the seventh one we have something like know the limitations. The company's policy should not overreach. We say when you people are developing a communication policies, they should be in certain proportion. We say where the limitation of the policy has to be taken in the consideration at what level the policy has to be framed, level we say, or at what extent the policy should be framed in the organization. Now it shouldn't be under evaluated or over evaluated. Okay, so it shouldn't reach overreach the thing and people get fed with that. So too much of restrictions imposed on the employees communication by developing communication policies can also lead into dissatisfaction among the employees. Okay, so we have the eighth one, like education. Company should make some reasonable effort to inform the employees on the policies of the policies. Education is educating the employees. So a company has to take a lot of effort. It says where they have to reach with the proper information regarding the policies to the employees, and they have to help the employees in even in implementing it, following it in the organization. So somewhere it should be something from starting till those people get accustomed with those type of policies and they follow it. In fact, so on these basis, we can say that the education which is being given by the employee to the given by the company to the employees on the policies has to come with the proper results. Okay, the output which those people have thought of. And we have ninth one, consultation, where despite of the complexity and say comprehensiveness. Now, so the ambiguity what those people will be having, the confusion into the policies due to the policy which is not properly framed in general, way, can also lead into the confusion among employees. And also comprehensiveness, understanding of the employees on any policy which is given to them. So situations will be inevitable, like just that, easy determination under the terms of the policy. So you should have so much of idea about, the level of simplicity the policy is holding, and the level of education that you people have given the employees in understanding it and following it. Okay. So sometimes what happens, inevitably a problem can also raise on the policies. Sometimes any small mistake if it happens between, the organization and the employees. Okay. Then we have next organization culture here. So we have next something like, organizational change. Mm. The organizational change is about, reviewing and modifying the management structures and then the business process. Remember, change is something from one particular state the organization will be looking in the future where they want to reach. Okay, and there you can find, when there is a change in the organization, there will be a high level of resistance that employees will be having. So no, you take any individual employer, group of employees, they will be very comfortable with the present, organizational culture. If they want to bring a change into the culture, into the operations of the organization, obviously there will be a certain type of, uh, say a resistance which people can experience, okay, in the organization by the employees. Fine. So the organization is about what? Reviewing and, modifying management structures and business process. Say, with the change usually happens in, reviewing that business process, that whether the process is now still properly followed or not, or whether it has been absolute, okay, and has to be changed, okay, to meet the present competition or say challenges of the industry. So here, either you people modify the management structure to bring, proper management into the organization, having proper planning, organizing, or staffing, whatever people have dealt into your functions of management to make it more effective, make them more effective. You can change management structure where, a structure which will be giving more promising results for the organization, and also the business process. So, or you can take like, a business model which has been used by an organization now, probably has to be changed to be more sustainable in the organization and want to grow in the industry and to sustain the business in the industry. So you have to even sometimes change your business process also, the model which people are using. So when the business model changes, ultimately the process change, the employees has to change their working habits. So these all lead to some resistance, but still organization change is required, because if you want to survive in the industry, the organization has to adopt the changes which has been identified in the industry. Okay, new practices which are there in the industry has to be, taken up and followed by the organization. For that, they have to change. And we have next the importance of employee communication in an organization. Okay, here we have some of the importance, why, so much, is been stressed upon the communication of the employees among the organization. Here, remember, this communication, as we people have discussed, where it is going to link the knowledge and the information. Okay, if the knowledge and information is not properly linked, you can expect that there will be a collapse in the, communication, which will be, leads to the collapse for the organizations. Okay, so when communication is effective, it tends to encourage better performance and job satisfaction, as we people have discussed in the initial stage of the class, where it says, okay, where if the communication is more effective, good enough, okay, for the among the organization and between the employees, it will be always encouraging the employees in giving their best performance. Okay, because they're very much clear about their roles and responsibilities. Okay, if they are very much clear about their roles and responsibilities, the policies governing on them and their, day-to-day activities can help them to adjust to it, and also you can find more job satisfaction because of the clear role those people have. Okay, the clarity those people have regarding their roles in the organization. That shows how much importance an organization is giving to their employees. Okay, on the basis of making them clear about and keeping more interest on employees' well-being. Now, it is the force that binds the people of an organization together. People live together in the organization because of this because of the communication. Fine. So next we have communication. As I told you, communication is the link between knowledge and the information. And next we have communication plays a major role with all human, relation matter. So even developing good relationship among the employees in the organization, it also stands on a particular, uh, you know, platform where the platform is very much strengthened because of the communication. So communication is the one which will be making both, say, other employees among the organization to build a good relationship with them. Even communication also play important role in keeping a better, the best relationship with the outside world, or maybe external stakeholders or external environment. Right. So this is all about your part one today. In the next part, we'll begin with the media of employee communication. These are basics, where you people have to keep in the mind regarding, employee communication and then the employee communication. Fine. So in the next class, we'll begin with the media, media that we people are going to, or channels that we people are going to use. Okay, when it comes to employees communication, or employees use those channels. Fine. Okay. Any doubts that you people have till here?